Yes, y'all. It is DCTF Live, coming at you live from, where are we? Oh, the Ginger Man. There's a giant sign behind us. In Austin, Texas, part of the South by Southwest Festival. It is DCTF Live, your mom's third favorite internet show. My name is Greg Tepper, managing editor. What are you laughing at?
You.
My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com, a print magazine and a website, respectively. I'm sitting here. Sitting to my left, I'll get to you in a moment.
No doubt.
Sitting to my left is the man at the controls. It is Max Thompson. Max, you're back in your hometown, basically. Kind of. Oh, you don't have a mic. Actually, that's going to make this show a lot better.
Max said basically, kinda.
Basically, kinda.
Here, now I'm on.
There you go. Now,
Okay.
so you're back in your hometown, kind of.
Sort of.
You lived here for a while.
For a while.
This is my first time at South by Southwest.
I'm kind of a migrant.
You're a migrant.
I hop around.
Normally there's only two voices on this show. There's a third voice on the show tonight. For now, we're going to have a bunch of big-time guests. We are first joined by maybe the biggest guest of all. It is former Pro Bowl linebacker Keith Bulluck joining us. Keith, what's up, man?
Chilling, man. I was All-Pro also 3 times.
No, okay, all right. Keep going.
You gotta know your guests when you come through.
I know. Listen. It's not my job to talk you up. You can talk yourself up.
Nah, I'm not into that. I'm just giving you a hard time.
And here with his autobiography is Keith Bulluck.
No, my book is coming out later this year.
All right. So first and foremost, you're out of the league. Tell folks what you're up to these days.
Oh man, these days I'm up to a lot of things. I'm actually, like we were just speaking off air, I was supposed to be in Dallas for the Nike Regional. I work with Nike, going across the country, scouting the best talent, coaching the best talent at the high school ranks, and then obviously they get that invite to the regional in Beaverton, which is in July. I'll do a little real estate with my wife. Why I'm here at South by Southwest.
Yeah.
I have a company. We have a startup company called Transition Sports and Entertainment. And we work with brands, athletes, companies, and we're all about the brand building, marketing, and business development of such folks.
Man, you're good at segues because I got to mention we're here with Transition Sports Entertainment. Ooh. They are helping us with this event. They're also fan-sided, doing great work, helping to pick up the tab tonight.
There you go.
Blogs with balls.
And blogs with balls. It's a big event. So, and we've been tabling this for a while because we've been kind of circling each other. We started a conversation because you're from New York. You're a New York guy.
Yes, sir.
You went to Syracuse.
Yes, sir.
And we started a conversation about comparing New York high school football to Texas high school football. And you kind of sighed, and you were like, "Oh, here we go!" Like you looked like you were about to get going.
I'm going to give you the original reaction.
I want to hear it.
So ask me the question again.
So I want you to compare and contrast New York high school football and Texas high school football.
Oh God! No, that's what I said. Just because. All right, New York high school football is Jim Brown. He's our biggest guy ever.
That's a nice guy to hang your head on.
Right, but. After that, there's not too many.
It's you.
Texas is Orca big. It's so big that, so many players come out of here. And, to get more serious with it, at Syracuse, we used to have guys that came from Texas because there was once upon a time where, it was only UT and maybe A&M or OU that guys would go to. And, Syracuse was smart enough to come down here and get those 4-star guys that weren't that didn't get an offer from there. We play on TV every week, and we got those guys. And they were great players. But obviously now, like, the scope of college football has changed. You can play anywhere in the country and get on television. So a lot of those Texas guys are staying in state. And, look, you see how Texas football is always – it doesn't really taper off. You're going to have A&M. You're going to have Baylor. You're going to have UT. Oklahoma is Oklahoma, but they're on the border. Whatever. It's all relative. You know what I mean?
We don't recognize them.
I'm not from here.
We don't claim them at all.
I'm not from here, so that's why I'm going to try and get away with that one. Obviously, I didn't.
Yeah.
But my point is, in this region, is just like you have more to pick from. And, like, you see the Syracuse football is not existent right now. Out of 100, I think maybe there's 156 Division I AA teams now. Yeah, we're like 130. I was used to getting ranked 15 and top 25 every year. You know what I mean? So I just think that Texas compared to New York, you can't compare.
Yeah.
There's no comparison. Like maybe like you say, like, you know, the debate that happens a lot amongst locker rooms is Texas, California.
Yeah. Texas, Ohio.
Yeah, Texas,
Florida.
Ohio,
Yeah.
Florida, I'm sorry, Louisiana sometimes, but like in New York, there's no comparison. You're going to get like your handful of guys that are able to make it and get out of there, because at the end of the day, we're all supposed to be Jesus Shuttlesworth.
We're talking with Keith Bulluck here on DCTF Live. Get involved in the conversation at #DCTF Live. So you're now working with the younger guys. You're working with guys who are coming up through the ranks. When you're looking for these linebackers, who obviously, if they're at the opening, they're at these Nike camps, they're obviously doing something right. What are you looking for to separate, the cream from the crop?
Well, I take a very straightforward approach. Like, I don't look at the names, the rosters. I don't do any research on the guys. So when they get to the camp, look, I'm your coach, and I tell them beforehand, I want you guys to come out here, display your best football that you can, and just remember, this is all a learning process, because what you take and learn from this camp, go practice it so you can become a better football player. So, I look for guys that are coachable. Like, if I tell them something in one drill and we go to the next drill and they utilize what I told them, to me, that's a guy that can make it, because he wants to get better. He's learning how to get better. He's taking information, processing it, and applying it. And look, no matter what we do in life, it's all about taking information, process it, and applying it. And the guys that can do that on the football field have the highest chance of having success.
You're a 3-time All-Pro linebacker. See, I mentioned it the second time. You give me a chance.
He's getting better. He's getting better as he goes.
3-time All-Pro linebacker. When you watch the league today, who are the guys that jump off the screen? You go, wow, that guy is an incredible linebacker.
First and foremost, definitely Luke Kuechly. He does the damn thing. Also, I like Wagner. I like Bobby Wagner. Yeah. I also like. I'm going through my list of teams now.
I put you on the spot.
Bobby Wagner. There's Devontae David from Seattle. I like Harris from the Jets. Middle line. What's his name?
I've got Google here.
Let's make it happen.
All right.
This is a show tradition.
David Harris.
No,
David Harris, because he's been in New York for so long and he's been putting it down, and he doesn't. And please forgive me if I'm forgetting guys, but I really pay attention to the aesthetics of the game, like the technique. How did you get off that block? How did you make that play? And look, there's a lot of guys we could talk about that are great football players or good football players. I won't give them great, but it's all a process, and you got to reevaluate yourself every year and come back to the table.
All right, we're going to let you get back to the party in a minute, but I got to ask you one more question.
I'm done already?
No, we can keep going.
Yeah,
I got more.
Let's go.
I got more. All right. Okay, I want to know. I want to hear about Mr. Monday Night, because you were the guy, right?
Yeah.
You're the guy who before, Tennessee hadn't been on Monday Night Football forever, and you came out before the game in what many, including I, would call an extremely confident move, and said, I'm going to steal the show. I'm Mr. Monday Night. I'm Mr. Monday Night. Right. Did you know something was going down? Was it off the top? From when you're saying that, is that just bluster?
Look, man, honestly, it kind of started off like as a lightweight joke, because like you said, like you alluded to, the Titans, we weren't that good for a couple years, but I had made plays throughout the league, you know what I mean? And it was a obvious new reporter, and he was like, "Oh, you've never played on Monday Night Football. Is it going to be a big stage for you?" I'm like, "Oh, you must not know. I'm Mr. Monday Night," and totally playing, facetiously, but when you play on Monday night, there are no more storylines after Sunday football. So they just took that and ran with it. So the whole week I'm practicing now. Now I'm Mr. Monday Night.
Oh, here comes Mr. Monday Night.
Right.
Let's see what he's got.
Okay.
So look, man, like those plays that I made in that game.
The 3 interceptions of Drew Brees.
I studied, and like Drew Brees, I'm like when I'm studying, so let me take you through the process of an NFL player, film prep. So you're watching the film to see what the other team does, you know, how you can be in the best position to make plays, but then you're also watching to see what plays they run that I can make a play on this, you know what I mean? And it never really happens, but in that game, every play that I possibly could make a play on, Drew Brees, it happened. Drew Brees threw the ball, and I just had to make the play. And, you know, at the end of the day.
So part of it, I mean, let's be real.
10 years later, I'm Mr. Monday Night.
So it's like luck is a 4-letter word in football, but sometimes you gotta have preparation, obviously, which you're going through with the film prep.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you gotta have him kind of bait him into the throw, and he's got to make that throw as opposed to doing something else, right?
Yo, you know what? It's just like anything in life. One day you said, I hope that they hire me for this job because I gave the best audition ever.
I said, I did.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
Right. You're right.
So, like, look, the boss eventually has to make the decision, and Drew Brees was the boss, and he chose to make those errant passes,
which you're not going to apologize for, right?
I don't even really talk about it. Even if I saw Drew Brees, I wouldn't even bring it up
because you know he's an Austin guy.
That's why I don't talk about it. That's how I get my butt kicked.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know he's got friends around here. He's like, oh, man, you're never going to believe what Keith Bulluck said. All right, I put you in charge of the NFL for one day.
Yes, sir.
What are you changing? What changes are you making? How are you changing the game? How are you changing the league?
If you put me in charge, man, these questions. I
give you Goodell's job.
These are very good questions.
Thank you. You know, I
That's what you get for sticking around.
I read up.
So if I was in charge of the NFL, what am I going to change, man? I'm going to change. I'm going to lower the levy on fines because at the end of the day, right now the NFL is like the WWE. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to bring the old school NFL back. Like I grew up watching Crunch Course films and stuff like that.
The big hits.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to keep the league as safe as possible, but at the end of the day, we're not going to throw too many yellow flags. We're going to be able to, instead of simple rule. Yeah. Instead of 5-yard contact, I'll have 8 yards. Just so the DBs, so the DBs can get their hands on the wide receivers. Look, Marcus Mariota, great player, turned out to be a great player. But think about it, man. Rookies are coming in passing for 300 yards like it's nothing.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Think about back in the day when we grew up, a 300-yard game was like, man, he had a big game. But now 300 yards is nothing. These high school kids are coming through the same process, this, that, and the other. So I think I would just make it a little tougher on the offense. But
because all the rules have been in favor of offenses, because let's be real, offense sells tickets.
And if you have a defensive-minded,
I was going to say, because if you're a wide receiver, I imagine you have a very different take on this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Wide receivers, they don't want to be touched. They actually would probably love to run their routes in the silver slippers that Cinderella wore, if they could. But it's whatever.
He is Keith Bulluck. He is a 3-time All-Pro linebacker, and he is with Transition Sports and Entertainment. You can find him. It's kbulluck.com, right? Is that right?
kbulluck.com, kbull53 on Twitter.
Follow him on Twitter. He's a good guy. Okay, so I'm going to let you choose who we're going to talk to next. So we got 3 more guests lined up.
Yeah.
We got Emmanuel Acho.
Yep.
Right?
UT.
We got Bo Scaife.
Scaife.
UT.
Syracuse, UT.
UT.
No, I'm sorry. UT, Tennessee. I'm getting my team confused.
And then we got Brad Smith. So, I'll let you decide who is next on DCTF Live.
I'm going to go like this. You go Bo Scaife.
Yeah.
And you go Acho. You take the 2 Texas guys.
Yeah.
And then you bring the Mizzou guy in.
Oh, dude, no.
For the sandwich.
Okay.
You got the Syracuse Mizzou sandwich.
Got it. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Keith Bulluck joining us here. Appreciate you, bud.
Word.
There he goes. We'll be right back here on DCTF Live. We are back here at South by Southwest at the Ginger Man. DCTF Live, joined now by one of the most prolific tight ends in recent NFL history and a good Longhorn. This is Bo Scaife. Bo, how you doing?
Man, I'm wonderful, man. Thank you guys for having me on.
So first and foremost, you've been out of the league for a couple years. What are you doing these days?
I started a company. First, I went to business school real quick. Got me an MBA real quick.
Okay. Yeah, real quick. Real easy, right?
Yeah, it was
super easy.
It was 2 years and $100,000 later. But after I did that, I started my own company. It's called Fresh Ed. It's a life performance brand created by professional athletes, and what we do is provide life skills, tools, and resources through different platforms and events. So it's going along great, man.
Cool, excellent. And so you're here at South by Southwest helping to promote that and just kind of having a good time. A lot of guys you seem to know around
right,
here.
you know, and supporting my friends. You know, we got so much strength in numbers, and it's good to see the guys, you know, venturing out and getting involved in the different things that interest them. So, you know, I love coming and support the guys, you know, guys like Keith Bulluck.
Well, and I think that you see so many guys, you know, you hear the horror stories of guys who leave the NFL and then all of a sudden they got nothing. You know,
right.
like they get these millions of dollars and then it's gone. It seems like there's a lot of guys that I've talked to today and in the recent weeks that are really trying to change that perception.
Dun, 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 and steps in Fresh Ed. So, you know, that's the niche. And you're right. I'm glad to see guys really take that responsibility and know that, you know, your football career is an opportunity and you need to use it as a launching pad to whatever else you want to do after that.
Now, you're a Colorado guy.
Yeah.
And you came to Texas from Colorado. Take me back to your recruiting days and take me back to the decision to come to Texas.
It's so crazy you guys we're talking about this because I was actually talking to my coach who recruited me and many other Longhorns. He really started this Texas regime. His name is Tim Brewster. He works for he coaches at Florida State right now, so I was actually talking to him today, and I was just looking back and thinking about all the things he did to get us there, you know, the certain antics. I remember working out in the weight room in front of all the scouts, and he got out of his suit into his wife beater, and he started working out with me. So, you know, whatever you do, whatever it takes to get the guy, you know, he was a great guy to do that, and you know, much props to him.
So you committed, in a lot of ways, you committed it to him. He was the guy who really said Texas is the place for you.
He set him up, and Mac Brown knocked him down. You know, when you have two guys, and recruiting is all about communication. How can you communicate with these young guys and their families to get them involved and get them to want to come and play for your program? And Texas had a great reputation in, you know, the late 1999s and the early 2000s. They were killing it because they communicated so well, and that's how they got all the top guys.
Speaking of Texas, are you a Charlie Strong believer?
I'm a Charlie Strong believer. You know, why wouldn't I support him? You know, he comes in, he talks about building young men up, and that's always his first priority, so you got to respect that. I hope he gets it, you know, turned around, and I think he's on the right direction. You know, we had a great recruiting class this year, so I think there's some bright days and a great future for the Longhorns.
Okay, now I want to ask you about the rise of the tight end in the NFL, you know, because now you're seeing guys like Rob Gronkowski and stuff. How much credit do you take for that? All of it or just most of it?
All I can say is I'm just so blessed to be a part of the NFL, just watching it, and you guys see this, but me coming from it and have played in it, these guys are amazing. They're the best athletes in the world, and just sitting back each and every Sunday, I have so much respect for the guys and what they do. The Von Millers, I mean, they come out of nowhere and they blow up because they're amazing at what they do, and I just love seeing it.
I got to tell you, you're a Texas guy who just complimented an A&M guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I live in Denver. So we're Super Bowl champs right now. And it's not the old A&M that was in the Big 12. I mean, I was 6-0 against Texas A&M.
Oh.
So,
okay.
you know.
You like to mention that?
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
You wish they'd play again, though. That was on the cover of our magazine.
I love how they're trying to bring that back because as a young guy, that was one of the biggest growing experiences for me when I went to go play at A&M. It taught me so much, and we were in such hostile environment, and I learned so much from that game alone.
Mm-hmm. Now, you were also a guy who was involved in kind of the heyday of those Texas teams, and you know, with Vince Young and all that. Is there one or two memories that really stick out to you about your days at Texas?
The biggest thing that sticks out to me is being at practice with so many amazing dudes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can do a roll call. And just looking back, it's like we had so many guys, and I'm just so fortunate to be around those amazing athletes every single day at practice. And it really showed me how far I came just to be able to play in the same room and on the same field with those guys.
Now, Keith Bulluck, in a question I asked him earlier, I said, I put you in charge of the league for a day. What are you going to do? And he says, well, I'm going to make it easier for the defenders to defend and not let these receivers run wild out there. Do you agree? Would you do the same thing? I imagine from an offensive perspective, you maybe have a different perspective.
Yeah, I mean, if I had one thing to change in the league, I think it would be how I prepare the guys when they're coming in.
Oh, yeah?
I would put more resources in that to help what we talked about a minute ago about the guys when they leave. just adding more recesses to helping them outside and when they're done with football. That's what I would change.
Okay, so you'd make sure that this is a step along the path in your life as opposed to what you do and then it's over.
And I understand it's a business, but let's give these guys the skills they need to be successful outside and after they're done, because they've committed and they've dedicated so much to the game and to just being successful in that arena.
He's Bo Scaife, one of the most prolific tight ends of recent years. Bo, appreciate you hopping on with us, bud.
Thank you guys, man. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. There he goes, Bo Scaife. We'll be right back on DCTF Live. Back here at the Ginger Man in Austin, Texas, South by Southwest, DCTF Live, getting it done here, joined by another Longhorn great. It is Emmanuel Acho. Emmanuel, what's going on, man?
I am great, man. A hectic week of South by Southwest, but I'm glad to be here at the Ginger Man.
First and foremost, what's your status? Obviously, the last we saw, I believe you're still a free agent, unless I misread something. But you're still a free agent. But what's going on with you?
So I just hit free agency, just finished my 4th year in the league, so thankfully I got a fully vested pension annuity, all those major landmarks. Entering free agency this offseason, hopeful to find out things in about a week or two.
Yep.
I'm looking at myself as kind of that 2nd or 3rd tier free agent, that week 2, week 3 free agent, not one of those $100 million guys, but a guy that can make a good living.
Okay. Now you're a Texas guy.
Yep.
You're a Dallas St. Mark's guy,
yes,
a
sir.
private school guy from
Yes, sir.
DFW private school. Did you feel like private school got the short shrift when it came to high school football? You feel like it was disrespected?
For good reason.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right? I mean, we're not putting out freaking household name kids year after year. I mean, my high school, fortunately enough, put out my brother the year before me, myself, and then Ty Montgomery 2 or 3 years after me. We all, fortunately enough, got drafted in the NFL. But private school was good for its academics.
Yeah.
And obviously my intellect is what's helped me to thrive and last 40-plus years now in the NFL.
Yeah, you've obviously done a lot of things off the football field that have helped you to lead. And, we were talking with Bo a little bit earlier, and that's something he really harped on. It's like, we want to make sure these guys are prepared for after football, and obviously you've taken steps to make sure you are.
Yeah, for me, it wasn't about getting educated. It wasn't about getting eligible, me. It was about getting educated. Right? And so that's really what I'm trying to start harping on to a lot of the younger guys. I'm working on my master's right now in the offseason at Texas in sports psychology, and I plan on kind of using that towards my transition after ball, whether it be in broadcasting, carving my own niche as a sports psychologist, or as at least a guru in sports psych, or going out to different school systems and just educating players. I'm trying to further my own.
Listen, I got to tell you, there's no broadcasting jobs. You're not we're all full up.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all full up.
Full.
We're done.
Yeah.
We're full. No
Go
vacancy.
Find another job.
No vacancy on broadcasting. Okay, you can't have it. Emmanuel Acho joining us on DCTF Live. One thing I want to mention to you. You mentioned when Chip Kelly was fired.
Yep.
You said that you quote 100% would hire him as your coach.
Yeah.
49ers hire him. Why were you so passionate about that?
I think I got a lot of backlash when Chip got fired because I sent out a tweet, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? And then the following day I'm doing another interview, and I go out and I say, well, I would 100% hire Chip Kelly as a head coach. Chip Kelly is an amazing head coach. He's an amazing offensive mind. He's an amazing offensive coordinator, right? That is what Chip Kelly is. Just look at his track record. 10-6 in the NFC, 10-6 in the NFC, an unfortunate 6-8 season, 6-9 season before he got fired. Mind you, this was all after Rose Bowl National Championship. And so his track record speaks for itself. So that for that reason and that reason alone, I would hire Chip Kelly.
Okay. Now, to flip it on its head, another thing that you did on social media was that you got a date to prom.
I did, in fact.
Hannah Del Monte
Yes.
was your Instagram prom date. She said, I want to take Emmanuel Acho to junior prom.
Yeah, man.
And what was it? It was 10,000 retweets she had to get?
So,
you set that bar, let me tell you.
I thought I set it high. I thought 10,000 was high.
Was like way too high?
I thought it was way too high. I thought, no way. She'll get 6,000, 7,000. I'll get a little bit of social media love off of it.
Yeah.
It backfired.
Okay, and so you went to prom.
Yeah.
How was prom?
Prom was cool.
Okay.
So, I like you said, I went to a private school, an all-boys private school. We wore a uniform. I actually never attended a prom. So this was my first prom. So Hannah, wherever you are listening, thank you.
Okay.
So this was my first prom. It was cool, a little bit awkward, but the kids were fun. They weren't all in my face, in my business. A picture here, an autograph there, but it was a good time.
Did you get a corsage?
What did I?
Yeah.
I got a corsage. I got the bow tie.
Okay.
What else did I? I mean, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it well.
Listen, that's exactly right.
Exactly.
And especially if this all started on social media, so you know there's going to be photos of it.
Yes.
If you show up looking like a slob,
exactly,
that's definitely getting out there.
Exactly. So I mean, I got there. Saks Fifth, they sponsored me. I was in the Saks Fifth Tux. Chevrolet sponsored me. I had a fleet of Suburbans. We were rolling there. Afterwards, Rachel Ray did the prom. So her camera crew, they came with us, went on the Rachel Ray show after.
Nice.
I mean, so I had to bring my A game.
Let me tell you, my prom sucked.
Did it?
It was terrible.
Hey, live vicariously through me.
Okay, I will. I choose to live vicariously through you.
Through me.
Emmanuel Acho, one last question.
What you got?
You mentioned your brother.
Yep.
Could you beat him up?
Could I?
Sam Acho, for those who don't know.
Sam Acho, fifth-year linebacker in the NFL.
He's decent size, right?
About 6'2", 260.
Yeah, I mean, he's got
decent.
decent size. He's probably been to a weight room before.
Yeah, maybe once or twice.
Like he's driven by one at least.
At least.
At least,
and his acquired strength through osmosis at the very least.
So growing up, because brothers fight. I have two brothers.
Yeah.
He has two brothers. Brothers fight. But the fights between future NFL stars.
Look, man, I'll let you in on a secret.
All right.
We were in the living room. It's probably 1995, an autumn day. I'm sitting there in the living room. I just finished watching the WWE Sting, Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, dude,
So I walk into the living room, chest out, my 5-year-old chest out. I hit my 7-year-old brother with the meanest diamond cutter you've ever seen. I hit him with that Diamond Dallas Page diamond cutter.
Oh, my God.
Dropped the mic. After that, Mom wouldn't let us fight anymore, and I just started running after that.
That's very. You know what? I got to tell you, if Sam Acho were my brother, that's probably a good move to just run. I feel like you're probably faster, right?
You got a step.
You got a step.
I have to have a step.
Okay. All right.
I have to
that's
have a
good.
step.
He's Emmanuel Acho. What's your Twitter handle?
The Man ACHO. The Man Acho.
Follow him on Twitter, an essential follow. Emmanuel, appreciate it, bud.
Pleasure.
There he goes, Emmanuel Acho. We'll be right back on DCTF Live. We're back here at South by Southwest here at the Ginger Man on DCTF Live. Joined now by this is 100% true, the first college football player I ever loved.
Oh, no.
I'm a Mizzou grad, so when I went through school, the quarterback there was a guy from Youngstown, Ohio named Brad Smith, and it is an honor to be joined here by Brad Smith now. First and foremost, how are you feeling? I know that you've been battling through some injuries. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, man, this is the best I've felt in a long time.
Really?
Out here in Austin, training for the game, and a guy named Dave Martin just kind of rebuilt my body from the ground up, and it's feels really good right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously it's been a disappointing couple of years here. How do you battle back from that? How do you fight through what's been kind of a couple of stop and starts that you've had in your career?
Yeah, you take it all in stride and keep it in perspective. I mean, it's a blessing to be able to play the game of football, play in the NFL. But in perspective, my family, my faith, and things, that's the most important to me.
Man, it's Austin, man.
Yeah, Austin's nuts. But it's just keeping things in perspective, and have a chance to play the game. Go out and enjoy it.
You obviously played quarterback at Missouri, and you were awesome at it. And you come into the NFL, and they listen. I'm speaking the truth here.
No argument here.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Greatest player I ever played with on NCAA football.
Tell me I'm
Not
wrong.
even close.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
so many Heisman seasons.
I want to know about that. Did you play as yourself on NCAA football?
Man, I didn't even have a game.
Are you kidding me?
Oh,
dude, it's the greatest gift you've given to us nerds.
I might go back and try to find it for my kids.
Yeah, because because you're pretty much unstoppable. I gotta tell you, they made Mizzou. They were okay.
That was about how we were.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But you get moved to wide receiver, and now you're starting to see. I think because the NFL was afraid of running quarterbacks. You are seeing now guys who can run the ball. Guys like Cam Newton, who's built like a tank.
Yeah.
Guys like Colin Kaepernick, who may be a bad example, but guys who can move and run around. Do you feel sometimes like you were like 10 years too early in the league?
I mean, you got a lot of guys who could say that.
Yeah.
Feel like they've been a little before their time, but there's guys, Donovan McNabbs and Randall Cunningham's guys who had success. But I think it would have been more widely accepted, easier to kind of stick and have more opportunities because they can appreciate a guy like Aaron Rodgers who's who carries the ball as much as any quarterback right now, but he can move, can create time, and make plays down the field. So it'd be nice to be coming out this year.
When you get a chance to throw, you've thrown the ball a couple of times on trick plays in the NFL. Does it all come flooding back to you?
It does. It does.
So you miss it.
No, absolutely. It's nothing like being in control and having the ball in your hands every play and being able to really control the game. It's nothing like that.
Okay. So you've got a new coach now, and so what do you think of Coach Peterson? What do you think of what's going on up there?
I mean, I don't know much about him, quite frankly. I know he played quarterback back in the day, but I can't really speak on him as a person or as a coach, but I know Howie is making a lot of moves up there, and I think he has a vision. And if you have a vision, you can get guys to buy in, whether some people like it or they don't, but they see you're going somewhere, and I think that's important.
And I'd be remiss, I got to ask an uncomfortable question, but I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about what's going on in Missouri. Obviously a lot of strife going on, a lot of struggles going on campus, and obviously Coach Pinkel, who you played for, and I know you have great affinity for, leaves due to health concerns. I'm interested in just kind of your take on what's going on up there at Missouri, both in the coaching realm and just kind of on campus there.
You know what? I think it's a little overblown. I mean, I went down there a couple times after, the whole Concerned Student 1950 thing, and it's really, you're going to have the isolation of students who are out of control, who do some things that are ignorant. Unfortunately, it's people like that. But once you sit back and look at the totality of everything, it's really a lot of people who love each other and really want to see everybody do well. So it's really kind of, right now, it's kind of overflooding that stuff, the negative stuff with the positive. I don't think it's as bad as it is. Kind of got a bad rap for a minute, but I think the truth will eventually come forward. So, and I'm still proud to be a Tiger. I will be for the rest of my life.
He is Brad Smith. He is one of the best players in college football history, I'll say it, at least one of my favorites. So, Brad, appreciate you hopping on with us.
Man.
And
my pleasure.
Go enjoy the party, and we'll talk to you soon.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Brad Smith. We'll be back on DCTF Live. Back here in Austin, Texas, South by Southwest, DCTF Live, doing it here at the Ginger Man. There's a giant sign behind us.
Yes.
And now we are joined by easily the most famous, I would say, guest that we've had on the show so far. Maybe infamous?
Infamous is possible, yeah. I think you're more infamous than Danny
Of
is.
the Austin American-Statesman, it is Danny Davis. Hi, Danny.
Yeah, I guess if I'm the most famous, I guess I'm the first one here.
Okay, all right. No.
I've seen some of the guys who come in front of me, and I don't.
You don't think you measure up with Brad Smith and Keith Bulluck?
Don't think so.
Okay. So.
Well, I'll tell you this much. You're not measuring up by putting your microphone in front of your mouth. I'll tell you that much.
No.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's
all
okay.
right.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Just, no, you're going to bend it towards your mouth.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I think we got a winner.
Okay.
All right.
All
right. There we go.
All right.
So I want to take you back to state title games. The last time we saw Central Texas high school football was in the state title games.
Not a great day.
It did not end well for them. And I'll tell you that I thought that I didn't know if they were going to sweep, but I thought they'd pick up at least one of those two. Going into the games with Lake Travis in the 6A Division II title game against Katy, and then Westlake in the 6A Division I title game against North Shore, did you feel the same way?
Yeah, including Cedar Park, I thought that Saturday was going to be a pretty good day. I was pretty confident Cedar Park was going to win, and I was pretty confident Westlake was going to win. I thought Lake Travis and Katy was a toss-up in part because I hadn't really seen that much of Katy, and when you looked at some of their numbers, it was kind of a question about, who are these teams they're playing? And so I thought that was probably the biggest toss-up, but the Westlake loss definitely surprised me. And then, what happened with Lake Travis? I mean, Katy was just better. There's no doubting. I mean, the Westlake fans and the Westlake kids are probably still thinking about that loss, thinking about, well, if I did this differently, what had to happen?
Right.
I mean, Lake Travis couldn't have done anything. They just got beat by a better team.
Yeah, and I think that we both came away thinking that same thing. That
might be one of the greatest teams we'll ever see.
Yeah. I mean,
that Katy team
was a bulldozer.
Yeah.
It was a Mad Max style bulldozer there.
Well, yes, it was.
Do you? I want to ask you about the end to the Westlake Galena Park North Shore game where the North Shore manages to stop Westlake on the final play of the game. Did you agree with the play call? They go with the kind of the double pass is kind of what they're looking at.
It was in retrospect or in hindsight, it's kind of easy to judge those things. But Todd Dodge gets paid a lot more money than I do to make those calls, and they're kind of going for the element of surprise. And it wasn't like Westlake's offense had been tearing them up. So you probably don't want to take the ball out of Sam Ellinger's hand, but if that play worked, Todd Dodge is a genius, and Westlake is celebrating a championship. And we're talking about how great of a play that was. So. Maybe if they had a little bit more room on the right side, it did seem like that was kind of the problem. Was they just kind of ran out of room on that sweep, and North Shore played it really well. But I didn't hate the play call; it didn't work. But at the same time, what else are you gonna do? They weren't throwing the ball very well. I'm sure North Shore was kind of expecting that they kept it in Ellinger's hand that he was going to be running the ball up the middle. So you tried to mix it up. Didn't work out, and it's going to give those kids a lot to think about this offseason.
Overall, Cedar Park takes home a state title. Would you consider it a good year for Central Texas high school football?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we had three teams playing football on the last day of the football season, including 2 at the 6A level, which doesn't happen a lot in Austin, and especially with it's kind of the perception of what Austin football is, unable to get through that Region 2. I mean, normally when we have those big classification schools go, it's through Region 4, but 2 of them got through Region 2. Cedar Park had a good season. You take teams like Vista Ridge and Vandegrift, Liberty Hill, going to overtime against a Leveco team that eventually won a state championship. So I think all in all, it was a good season for Austin area football teams, and although only one of them came home with a state title, I think some people are going to be happy with how it ended up.
Danny Davis, the Austin American-Statesman, joining us here on DCTF Live. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag DCTF Live. I have to do that every once in a while. It's just
you've got it down.
Max makes me do it. Looking forward to 2016. Obviously, realignment shakes things up. Boy, that District 25 6A looks like fun, huh? You got the Westlake and Lake Travis, and you're adding in Vandegrift and Vista Ridge. Pretty tough district there.
It's going to be really interesting to see how that district shakes up. I think the district may be a little bit overrated right now. I mean, you look at it by the names.
I totally agree.
I
totally agree over here.
There we go.
You look at it by the names. It's a very, very good names. But I mean, Vista Ridge is losing a lot of talent.
Yes.
Vandegrift is losing 2 very good players. They have some good kids coming back, but they're losing 2 very good players in an offense. And we don't know how they're going to adjust. A couple years ago when Vista Ridge went up, they struggled a lot at the, then 5A level. And Hayes, a couple years ago, when Hayes made the move from 4A to, I guess it was 6A, it was that jump. But, they were our area's almost the best 4A program. They're going to state. They won a state softball championship. They were a play away from making it state basketball. Across the board, football, they were continually good, and they've struggled since they got to that 6A level. So it's going to be interesting to see how Vandegrift and Vista Ridge and Leander, how the depth in their programs translate to this higher level. I mean, obviously, I think we all expect Westlake and Lake Travis to continue doing what they're doing, and maybe they can make another run in Region 4. But it's going to be interesting to see how Vandegrift and Vista Ridge fit in with Hayes. And although I do feel bad for Lehman, that's not a good. I think we can all agree that's a bad draw for them.
That's not great. Not great for them. Is there a team out there that right now, obviously, it's March 13th. If you want to declare a sleeper in Central Texas, a team that you think people should be paying attention to in Central Texas heading into 2016, is there a team that you think is out there that we may be talking about 7 months from now?
I don't want to say that after just kind of boo-hooing them. I think a team you kind of want to watch out, see what Vandegrift does.
Yeah.
What Coach Sanders can do out there. I really think that it's going to be interesting to see what Austin High does across the board.
Yes, that's a good one too. Really intriguing.
I think the biggest winners were those Austin ISD schools, the ones that stayed in 6A, and then the ones that are in 5A. Not only because they got rid of the backstrap schools, who were causing them some problems, especially in football. But Austin High drops. They don't have Westlake. They don't have Lake Travis anymore. And more importantly, once they get to the playoffs, they don't have Cedar Park in that district. In the bi-district round. Right. So if they can get to the playoffs, they're going to end up with that Lockhart, Kerrville-Tybee district. They may be able to win a game and maybe get on a roll. And, Austin High, we talk about it every year, that with them not winning a playoff game since the 50s. So this may be the year to keep an eye on the Maroons and Coach Rosenthal and see what those guys can do. And I'll be also keeping a look to see what happens with Cedar Park going to Region 3. I think we always expect Cedar Park to be good, but this is going to be a little bit more difficult road for them.
You are an Austin resident.
I am.
You pay Austin taxes, I suppose. That's Travis County taxes.
That's what my paychecks tells me.
That's what the paychecks do. So then you've lived in Austin how long?
I guess August of 2007 is when I became a resident.
All right.
So a long time.
Yeah.
What do you
Not good at math.
What do you think of South by Southwest?
You love it, I bet. I bet it's your favorite thing.
Well, me and my wife will be leaving town for a couple days tomorrow, so don't rob our house, please. But I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's good for the economy. It does get busy. At my age, I'm not coming downtown that much often anymore. I think this is my first time in this establishment since old Max left in the first place.
Oh.
But I don't like Lions, so I'm not coming down here. This isn't my thing, but I'm not going to hate on anyone that does. I'm just not going to participate in it.
I was talking to you earlier. The one thing I saw was a line around the corner to get a photo with Grumpy Cat.
Yeah, it's Lions.
Defend your city.
Lions are definitely a thing, but I'll make my defense. I don't think many of the people standing in line for Grumpy Cat are awesome.
Okay,
I think my
all
city
right.
is doing just fine.
Were you standing in line for a photo with Grumpy Cat?
I grew up with Grumpy Cats. I don't need a picture with this one.
He's Danny Davis. Follow him on Twitter at AASDanny, an essential Twitter follow. And actually, I'm going to use this opportunity to wrap it up. Can I do that, Max? Can I just do it? All right. That's going to do it for DCTF Live. Live here at the Gingerman in Austin at South by Southwest. Thank you to Danny Davis. Thank you to Keith Bulluck. Thank you to Emmanuel Acho. Thank you to Bo Scaife.
Yeah.
And thank you to Brad Smith for joining us. A fantastic, fantastic night here. Thanks, Danny.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. We still have it. And also, happy 91st birthday, Dave Campbell, on Monday.
Woo.
Happy 91st birthday. We will see you on Tuesday on DCTF Live.